Hi, I'm Bill Maher. You know, this week the Camp David peace talks fell apart, and now all the fingers are out pointing blame at each other. Was it Arafat? Was it Barack? Was it Clinton? Well, to be perfectly honest, it wasn't any of their faults. It was mine. Hey, good evening, Arabs and Jews. It's great to be here at Camp David. You know, thank you very much. Thank you. You're a beautiful crowd. Thank you very much. Oh, I always love playing Camp David. You know, it's one of my favorite retreats. In fact, I haven't seen such a beautiful retreat since the Arabs in the Six-Day War. But, you know, thank you. I kid Camp David. This place has such a history. FDR would go fishing here. George Bush would go skeet shooting. And, of course, President Clinton loves to hunt beaver. Thank you very much. They're a beautiful crowd. You know, truth be told, Clinton was a little disappointed when he first came here to Camp David. He kept asking me, hey, when does the dirty dancing start? But seriously, folks, this summit has been a lot of hard work. You guys haven't slept in days. It's the first time anyone here has seen Arafat with a 5 a.m. shadow. And the tension, I tell you, the tension is so thick you can cut it with a knife, which is more than I can say for the Salisbury steak. I tell you, the food here at Camp David is so bad, even Arafat asked for the kosher meal. But, oh, thank you. Whew. You're a great crowd. Last night I was bombing so bad I could get a job with the Hezbollah. But, you know, I understand the big issue at the summit here is Jerusalem. Interesting city, Jerusalem. There's a Christian section, a Muslim section, a Jewish section. Unfortunately, there's no Chinese section, which means the Jews are starving. Hey, Arafat, where you going? Hold on, I'll have the valet bring your camel around. Oh, yeah, where was I? Oh, yeah, Jerusalem. You know, I've been to Jerusalem, and frankly, I don't know what the fuss is about. It's dusty, it's dry, it's barren. It's like fighting over B. Arthur. I mean, really, we're talking about a small portion of land here, but you know the Jews always complaining about small portions. Hey, Mr. Barack, don't go. President Clinton, please, I do some impressions. I do gold in my ear. Not the voice, the walk. She kind of had a... All right, how about this one? Two Jews go into a bar, and the Palestinians blow it up. Well, my time's up. You've been a great crowd. Enjoy Miss Streisand.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher. Bill's guest tonight, Peter Fonda. Actress Rachael Leigh Cook. Actor and comedian Paul F. Tompkins. And political commentator Tasia Scolinos.
All right, let us meet our panel. A very funny comedian. He's one of the stars of the upcoming show DAG, premiering in October on another network. Paul F. Tompkins. Where are you, Paul? Pleasure to have you here. She is a conservative activist, attorney, and former counsel for the Elizabeth Dole campaign. Tasia Scolinos. Tasia. Hello, you. Pleasure to have you back. Hey, a very, very talented actress, one of the fine stars of the upcoming movies Antitrust and Josie and the Pussycats, our friend Rachael Leigh Cook. Hello, beautiful. How you doing? Good to see you. And a fine actor, director, and screen icon. He burst on the scene in Easy Rider. Now he's starring in the children's film Thomas and the Magic Railroad in theaters everywhere. Mr. Peter Fonda. Right over there. Ride the big one, buddy. How are you? All right. Well, I want to talk about this Napster thing because, Peter, you and I are over 30.
You're so sweet. That is
by a considerable amount.
Twice.
So, yeah, I know, exactly. We remember when we used to tape songs off the radio. And you'd get the disc jockey's voice. Remember at the beginning?
Oh, yeah,
you know,
and static and all that.
Static, and your father telling you to turn down that damn music. Well, kids don't have to do that anymore. They can download it right off the computer and not pay a price for it. And a judge yesterday said, this is going to stop. You're robbing the music companies of their profits, and they need that money for drugs. And people are debating. What do you think? Do you think that this is
I'm sorry, you just said robbing the music companies, with the markup on the CDs.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's ridiculous.
It's the artist.
They need to give a little.
They need to give.
Yeah.
No, the artists need to be paid.
Well,
you think so? You support Metallica in this?
It's not that I support Metallica or anything. It's the concept. It takes a lot of work to put together a good track.
Yeah.
And now somebody's going to steal it from you? What if you know...
So you're saying they don't get paid enough?
The artists don't get paid enough, no.
The artists don't get paid enough?
Oh, no.
It takes a long time to get rich in the music industry. It takes a really long time.
Forget about Chinese bookkeeping. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I knew that...
Now that we've accepted China Roll, we can't use that Chinese bookkeeping thing anymore, but...
Right. I know, Prince, who I love now. I used to make fun of him, and then I read he loves this show. But, but I always was a fan of his music. He used to have Slave. Remember, he had that tattooed or written on his face because he was with Warner Brothers, I think, Records.
That's right.
And he couldn't get out of his contract, and then he finally did. He put out an album called Emancipation, which I wonder what the real slaves would have thought of that. I don't know, it's easy to say, hey, the kids are stealing, but I can't because I did the same thing. We used to, trade albums, and we would tape the... You never did that, Peter? You never...
Oh, I absolutely taped, for my car, but I had bought the album first.
Yeah, but somebody else taped it off you, or you taped it off them, or you taped it off the radio.
What are you going to make illegal next? CD burners? Is that going to be legal too? Is that not fair?
Burning your own CD off the net is what we're talking about.
I know, but what's the difference? So now you can't copy your friend's CD because you didn't pay for it, like that?
I think that what Bill
it's just going to trickle down.
was saying, though, too, is I think, a long time ago, not that long ago, but, you used to kind of, tape each other.
In middle-aged man years. We get it. Long time.
I think the difference there, though, is somebody actually did buy the tape, and so they actually did give some money to, the artist who actually did put all the time and effort into producing it and, making it. Where now, I think, from my understanding is, one person buys it, puts it up there, and then 20 million people can use it. Rather, I think it was on such a smaller scale a few years ago that there were still, the music could go around, people could also make a profit off of it.
Except that the artists don't usually get the money. It is the record companies who are already ripping people off. I mean, record company executives, are folks who don't have the people skills to be pimps.
You're right.
And some of them do.
Some of them. Yeah, well, a lot of hip hop is about being a pimp. I mean, talk about bad role models. I mean, like Mr. Old Dirty Bastard's record.
I'm sure, and he does not like us.
Who?
Mr. Dirty
Bastard?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but I mean, a lot of his records, hey, Dirty, I got your money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about a whore who's giving him his money.
But isn't it
It's not a good message for kids. Hey,
maybe I listen to TD too much, but I'm thinking he deserves that money.
He deserves that money.
I'm kidding.
No, Mr. Bastard deserves the money that Mr. Bastard makes. I guess you've gotten me over to your side.
This is a trick question.
Yeah. Well, now it's a trick commercial. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. On this show, we love to cover the never-ending lawsuits that make America what it is today. This is a really interesting one. Last week, Planned Parenthood is suing because they say that a company has an insurance plan that covers most prescription drugs but not contraceptives. And they say this is discrimination against women. And here's the reasoning. It's actually quite interesting because, the way men contracept is either with a vasectomy or a condom. That has nothing to do with... But there's 5 ways for a woman to stop, Okay, the pill, Depo-Provera, Norplant, Diaphragm, and the IUD, which in Saturday Night Fever was referred to as the IOU. And they are all by prescription. So they're saying women are getting the short end of the stick here, and they're saying the woman said basic health...
You're on a roll, Bill.
Yeah.
We're on a roll now, Mr.
I love when the audience finds jokes I don't even know where they come from. But here's the quote. He said, "Contraception, a basic health care need," which to me sounds like an entitlement. If contraception is a basic health care need, you're one step away from saying getting laid is an entitlement. No?
I think, too, with respect to the pill, it's important, to keep in mind that there are people who use it for other reasons besides its just intended purpose. There are women, it does help, in other
it
areas
clears up your
things.
skin.
Yeah, it clears up your skin, or, there are other reasons why somebody, I think, would want to get a prescription for it. But also, and something I was thinking about when I was thinking about this topic earlier, is that in some ways I would think it would be in the best interest of the insurance company to offer the pill, because I think most insurance companies pay for maternity. When a woman gives birth and they pick up the tab for all that. So in some ways, I think it could be looked at like it's preventative, and that it could be saving them a lot of money down the road.
Yeah, but
it's really true. I mean, we live in a very buy now, pay later, kind of society, and I, for one, would much rather buy now than pay later.
Well, we're going to be paying later. We're going to be paying later in a whole different marketplace.
Yeah.
If we continue producing as many people as we produce...
You almost said movies.
Movies, I know. As many...
Movies, people, it's all Hollywood.
This planet wasn't designed to carry more than 3 billion, and we're looking at 6 next year.
Right. No, we've already passed 6.
More the merrier.
Did we pass?
Yeah, we passed it last October.
I must have been watching Clinton do something. I missed that one. Well, there it is. I mean, we don't have enough people. We can't produce enough oxygen to support enough people. We ought to be able to control. Birth control is a valid...
I couldn't agree more. I've always said I'm pro-death. But
that works.
But should the government? I mean, I know the government is one big tit, and it is that
I wish
everyone is, sucking on for years.
My wish come true.
The woman with the lawsuit is a pharmacist, is she not?
She is a pharmacist, and that's why
Doesn't
she got.
Anyone think that's funny? I mean, she's right there.
But that's what gave her the idea. She said she day after day she saw women coming in needing the birth control pill, didn't have the money to pay for it because they were at Starbucks. Because the birth control pill does cost $1. Okay, $1 a day. Okay, it costs about $300 a year. Okay, so.
The solution, it seems pretty obvious to me from her standpoint. Start a black market birth control ring on the side.
Can we get it up on the net?
People in the park, hey, birth control, birth control.
If she has to head it up, let it be.
I just wish I was having enough sex that this was an issue for me. That when you get to the point where you're saying, all this money I'm spending on sex, where does it end? I'd like a taste of that. That wouldn't be so bad. Where's my sex budget? I got to work this out.
But what they're basically saying is that men and women are equal, and they're not. I mean, they're not the same. I mean, the male plumbing system is a lot simpler. I mean, should we have to subsidize for people who isn't? I mean, our plumbing system is like a Volvo. It never breaks down, rarely. Yours is like a Jaguar. It's always in the shop. And...
Are you calling me high maintenance, Bill?
I'm saying your plumbing is high maintenance and ours isn't. I mean, that's just nature. That's just the way we are.
Well, I'd actually kind of... A point I think you had made before is that somebody has to pay for it, like whether it be the woman or the insurance company. And so I think it actually kind of raises another issue, and that is, I think it was in District of Columbia, I think it was last week, the city council passed a bill that said all hospitals and healthcare providers in D.C. have to provide contraception. And it was a big problem because a lot of the hospitals within the district are owned by the Catholic Church, which I think most of us know has a problem, or I'm not Catholic.
Yeah, I think the Catholics have a problem with it. Yeah, I think I read somewhere before that the Pope did not say, enjoy sex, it's lots of fun.
And so it was a real problem. So now, there was kind of a big uproar about it. Now they're trying to rethink it, and so they're putting in, from what I understand, something called a conscience clause. Well, I think that this particular case could raise some of those same issues, and that I think there's always a problem when people are asked to pay for something they have a moral problem with. And then, you know, and that's one thing. I mean, I think it's
you have a moral problem with contraception?
No, I don't, but I'm saying, you know, there are probably Catholics out there who...
Why don't you meet him? He's looking for some action. All right, we got to take a commercial. We'll be right back. As long as it's Friday and we're talking about sex, I wanted to bring up my favorite story of the week. In Attleboro, Massachusetts, police were responding to a theft, and they stumbled upon an S&M party where people were spanking each other. and they busted these people under a statute that said they were crimes against, quote, chastity, morality, decency, and good order. And boy, if your sex is moral and decent, it probably stinks. That's what I have to say.
Don't run for legislative morality.
No, it just incenses me, these kind of stories.
They just stumbled on the party.
Oh, you suspect...
The neighbors? Oh, rats. That's a cliche. Let's get somebody, you know, outer space, zapping the window, getting microwave feedback, hearing...
Well, but whether they stumbled... whether they stumbled upon it or not... What's wrong with...
I think Peter needs to be arrested. I think
Peter has been arrested many times.
Don't try it. I'm a professional. Don't try it.
All right, stay on your side of the table, buddy.
The arresting part.
Okay.
But what's wrong with a little spanking between consenting adults? I mean, they
arrested people?
They arrested people. They charged them with assault and battery. Assault for the spanking, and the battery fell out of the vibrator. I'm kidding. I mean, what's worse about spanking than, say, boxing? That's hitting each other. That's legal.
I think the spanking people have to get Don King involved and then make some money off it. That's the thing that's wrong with spanking. You go broke.
But I mean, I think. Moving away from Don King, but I do think, though, that governments are entitled to sort of legislate rules and things that promote the kind of society that we think is generally good.
Who's we?
You don't have to do
Really not you.
What
not
happened
you,
to those
Bill.
Republicans who thought the government should get out of our ass?
No.
Whoa.
Spanking and in our ass. Well, you know.
I don't mean in, I mean on.
I'm speaking like generally, though, we don't...
In our ass, yes. Get the government there. But on our ass, no.
Proverbial, exactly.
Please,
I'm saying, generally speaking, I don't think most people want a society where people are hitting each other till they bleed and that kind of thing. And so I think... And
there's what most people want. This country was founded on the idea that we're all equal in our perhaps minority view.
But if that were true, we'd have no laws at all.
Of course.
Well, now
I mean,
now
you know,
now you're getting.
I mean,
now we're getting down to the possibilities. Yeah, we can check out all the laws that are now and start over again. We might actually get to a representative democracy.
There you go, bring on the paddles.
You know, they spanked me at school for nothing. They found a cigarette in my pocket of my overcoat.
Yeah.
I came back from a vacation in New York.
What was in that cigarette?
No, I didn't even know about pots. It was somebody on an airplane, a woman on an airplane had a packet with 3 cigarettes, and they gave it to me, and I just had the cigarettes. I got spanked. There was nothing sexual about it, and it was in Connecticut. No, it was in Massachusetts.
If you need to cry.
I'm trying to, a bucket of tears over here.
What I was going to say is just that sometimes, you know, you'll be like, oh, do you want to stop by this party? It's like, oh, yeah, I think I want to go. We'll just stop by for 10 minutes. Come on. It's not like that. People, you're going to this party, you're going to commit. Everyone there wants to be involved.
Yes,
no
exactly.
One
I see what you're right. A spanking party is extremely consensual. Right.
Exactly. It's not like I didn't want to go. He dragged me. He said we'd stop by on the way to the play. I don't know. It's not like that.
All right, I got to make a commercial. We'll be right back.